Hey guys, so here's my P-51D BL, and I've got two things to show in this video. We're going to be doing a review of the E-flite power meter, and this is part number, I'm not seeing a part number, EFLA 110. And so far I'm liking it, I'm loving it, it's doing everything I wanted it to do. But first, before we get up into the power meter and start testing things, this is my P-51D BL. As you can see, we got landing gear on it. Now what I did to install the landing gear, I gotta get this one a little tighter. What I did to install the landing gear was simple. I just put them on there with CA, pushed them in, and the parts I used was the Park Zone landing gear for the Corsair, and then the landing gear plates for the Corsair as well. So real simple, they just pushed in there and then I glued them in and then I put on the wheels. So that's those two parts, real simple. And now the tail wheel I still have to add on. I'm just going to put on a tail wheel that doesn't turn or anything. I just have a couple wheels sitting around, so I'll get one on the back there. But now let's go to this power meter. So the power meter I got for multiple reasons. It's good to have so you can test your planes, and I want to do some upgrading and better batteries and maybe put some 4 cells in some of my planes, so I need to test everything. So the first thing we're going to do is I plugged it in already, and this is how it started up. To begin with, it's on volts, so it shows the volts of your battery, and as you can see, this one's fully charged, showing 12.52. It's a 3-cell 1800 mAh 20C E-flite battery. Press this mode button and you go to amps, showing 0.1 amps because we're not running anything really. Show your watts, 1.2 watts when it's not being used, and then your mAh. So let's go back to the amps, and I have a 30 amp ESC in here, and I kind of want to put a 4 cell in here and see what happens. So let's go ahead and test the amp draw. I don't know how good this is going to sit. Maybe if I put it in the body here a little bit so it can't move. Let me kind of get it stuck in here a little bit. There we go. Now it's stuck in there. Now I'm going to stand behind the tail here and hold it in place and then power up the motor. Let's see what this amperage does while I do that. Pulling about 20 amps on full load with a 3-cell battery. So that's a good 10 amps below my 30 amp ESC. So this plane might be able to handle a 4-cell. Let's go ahead and go to watts. Test the watts while it's all the way up there. Looks about 220 maximum. It got up to about 219, 216. So that's okay. And basically you have to watch out for your motor also. Your ESC and your motor are what you have to make sure can handle this. So I got to look up this motor a little more. I think it might handle a 4-cell, but I don't want to burn out the motor either. Although this plane is pretty beat up. You can see lots of repairs on it. Missing the guns over here. I just put a piece of tape. Broke the wing in half at one point. Been some repairs to the tail. So this was my first large 4-channel plane. So it's gone through a lot, but it's still flying. But that's what the amp meter does. It allows you to test the amperage and the watts, so that way you know if your ESC can handle your battery and your setup, and then you can know if your motor can handle the amps and the watts also. And you got to figure out that by looking up the motor specifications, and the ESCs of course usually say it right on them how many amps they can handle. So it's a great tool. Like I said, it's part number EFLA 110. It's about $40 some, and well worth it to test everything, because if you get one of these you can test everything, whereas if you don't use one of these and you put too big of a battery in, you can burn out your ESC, you can burn out your motor, and that's going to cost a lot more money than having one of these. And you can use this on all your planes. Now this one's an EC3, and that's perfect for all the E-flite and Park Zone planes. So really just a great tool to have. Next videos we might try a 4-cell in this P-51. I've got the T-28 prop on, which is supposed to give it a little more speed. over the standard P-51D BL prop. So wait soon, and hopefully we'll have a flight video of this up on a 4-cell. But that'll come in the next week or so, because I'm still waiting on a few new 4-cell batteries to show up. But awesome little product, great little gadget to have, and I suggest you take a look at this one. But there's many out there. This one's working great for me, and I love it. Whichever one you get, let's say you need one that does other than EC3, maybe you need one that does Deans. Whatever you're doing, it's great to have a power meter. You should definitely have one in your toolbox. So, little review there on the power meter and putting some wheels on the P-51, and like I said, keep a lookout for flight videos.